I've been injured recently. Had a issue with my quad muscle. It was partially torn, bad pull, and I was pretty down about it. I don't think I got into it fully on the show about just about how down I was. I'm feeling a little bit better now. I was able to run around a little bit yesterday and compete in some hoops. Still not at 100%. Still not getting to do the things that I have come to expect with my body. And I thought, I'd bring that up because I know a lot of athletes deal with similar issues where if you're an athlete, if you've competed most of your life, or if you competed at a high level, or maybe it's important. Maybe it's not the most important thing in your life, but it's what your life revolves around, right? Maybe you're a high school athlete. So, most of your after school activities are just that. You're going to practices, going to pasta dinners, team nights, and then games, tournaments, things like that. It becomes a part of your identity. And when you get hurt, when you get taken out or you're not able to do that anymore for an extended period of time, it starts to weigh on you. I know for myself, it has. I'm not someone who's been injured a lot. I was injured once when I was in high school. I had a tear in my meniscus, and I know that was probably one of the worst times of my life. I feel like I keep topping it, though, if I'm being honest. I do keep finding a way to just jam a little bit more trauma in every couple months, but that was really tough. And the same thing. So then recently with this tear, it way nicer in that it's like not a full rupture or like total tear where I need a surgery or anything like that. But it's like been a month, maybe. Am I right? It's been about a month of dealing with it, almost 3.5 weeks, maybe. 3 weeks, or maybe, yeah, about 3 weeks, maybe almost a month. And but like, a week of not being able to walk, a week of limping, and then a week of being able to walk and not being able to do the things you love and form your identity around, messes you up. And I'll say personally, as somebody who played college basketball and was in athletics, majority of their life still is playing their sport and training whenever they can. The worst part of the recovery process for me, I'm not saying this for everybody, is not the initial get injured part. Because when that happens, for me, in that moment at least, again, I've only been injured seriously injured a couple of times. When you get the moment of injury, you're kind of like, you don't know because you have adrenaline and all these things. You don't know like how bad it is. Okay, like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to stop. Like maybe this will be a couple day thing, and I'll be back on my feet. That doesn't suck. It does suck, but not as much, right? Then I'd say that the thing that sucks, maybe second worst, is that next phase where you kind of realize like, oh man, this is gonna be a while. I'm in it for a long run here for the recovery. That part sucks because you have this whole long journey ahead of you, but it's not the worst in my opinion. The worst part is when you appear fine, where you can do normal, everyday functions. The everyday average person who doesn't train or doesn't, work out crazy, or isn't playing a sport, you can do all that, right? You could go to the mall, walk around. You can go to a family event. You can go shopping, and you look fine. You're walking around fine. You can carry something light. Like you're not like nothing looks to be a matter. But like there's just this thing in the back of your head reminding you like you didn't train today. You can't if you wanted to, if you wanted to, you could not get around that defender. Your body would not let you. Like you cannot compete at the level you want to. You can't do the things that you've come to know yourself to be able to do, and that part sucked. And that's where I was the last like week and a half, where I look fine. I'm not like, if I'm not carrying anything super heavy, or I wasn't squatting or something, like I pretty much had normal function, but my leg just did not fully work, and still doesn't fully work. And that's just been really, really hard to accept, especially when, like I said, a lot of my personality, I feel like, is wrapped up in competitive sports, which is something that in getting injured right now at 24, right, because I've been injured in the past, but getting it now at 24 is making me realize, like, man, I got to work on quite a bit up here, because I can't. You don't get to play forever. You don't get to play forever, and you don't get to play at a super high level forever. I'm not saying I'm old, right? But I'm 24. I don't know how long I'll get to play, right? I got to have some other things to look forward to, because while I was out, I wanted to do nothing else. I talked about it last week, I rewatched The Last Dance documentary, which I'd already seen once. I watched the Kobe one with the Redeem Team. This is how down bad I was, okay? I re-downloaded. I went into my PlayStation purchased games and found the most recent 2K I had bought, which was 2K17. It's 2023 right now as I'm recording this. Okay, that's 6 years. 2K doesn't get much better year to year, but in 6 years, you feel the difference. You feel the difference. You see the difference. I re-downloaded 2K17, and I didn't even do a My Career. I didn't even make a My Player. I straight up just created a player, made him as good as I wanted him to be, and fucking did a My League. It just started playing, because I was like, I don't have time for all this shit. I just want to play now. And yeah, dude, that's how down bad I was. And I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to handle things as an athlete. I think maybe having other interests, and I do this. I've got this media stuff, and I've got the music, and I realized that those things I am still as passionate about, as I am with sports, but there's something about just competing and trying to win, and playing the sport that I've devoted most of my life to, that kind of takes me away from all the stress of even those things. Because creating videos is awesome. It's fun. It's a creative, artsy outlet. Same with music. But everything is so subjective, and as I want it to be sort of my career focus is that, a lot of what I hope to do financially in my future is wrapped up in those things. It's a lot of work sometimes. I'm editing clips like 2, 3, 4 hours a day sometimes for TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram. And sometimes I just need an outlet from that. And I've realized that sports, I've really been leaning heavily on sports for that. And I think that that's what this time being injured has showed me, is that maybe I need to get some more balance, because I literally was... There was no reason for me to even... I didn't even want to just wake up. I was asleep in bed, and I was like, man, I might as well just stay sleeping, because this is... I know I can't go shoot hoops. I know I can't go lift. And I know it sounds stupid maybe to somebody who doesn't... If fitness isn't, a big part of your life, or if a sport has never been a big part of your life. But for me, having something so finite as a game, right? A game of basketball where I'm just trying to score more points than the other team. Having something like that, and there's stressful moments, there's stresses within a game, but having something like that you can just focus on, where it's just about this thing that's going to start, have a middle and an end, and then be done. There's something just so pure and surreal about it, where it just pulls you out of everything else that's dragging you down. And so it's been really hard for me to handle all the other stresses without that. So if you are an athlete listening and you're out with an injury, or you've been out with an injury. What are you doing? What are you doing to keep your head up, or what have you done to keep your head up? And if you're struggling with it, find those other parts of your personality. This is a great time to sort of get into those other aspects of life, maybe, that aside from competing, aside from playing basketball. And that's what I tried to do. I obsessed pretty heavily over all basketball media, and even got back into the NBA, like I said last week. And but on top of that, I tried to take some time to just do music and just get some editing done, and talk to some friends. I even went to a movie with a friend of mine, and I don't get to see quite often, and try to find the other things that make you you. Because as much as the sport is important to you, and it does in a lot of ways make up your personality, or your identity, I should say, not your personality. There's more to you than the sport. You play it; it doesn't play you. So try to stay positive. If I even made any sense, I don't think I did.
Hey, thanks for watching there, guy. Click right over here if you want to see that episode in its entirety. Or you can click over here and subscribe to the channel. See all the other fun shit we do here. It's really up to you, guy.